Alright, guys, so this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from Hunter Johnson, who sent me a lot of Patreon requests, so hopefully he sent me enough for now, but I wanted to do this one because it's an old favorite that you guys either really love or really eye roll. To which I say it's my channel, my rules. But this one you can't blame me for. This one you cannot blame me for in any way, shape, or form, because this was a Patreon request from someone else. So you can point the finger at them, not me. Yeah, and as always, if you would like to send me a Patreon request, hit the link below to my Patreon. And if you when you hit the 4th tier, not only would you be able to send me requests to videos to do here on YouTube, but you'll also be able to see the exclusive content on Patreon. So, yeah, as you can tell from the title, it's Steven versus Dipper. So that's the idea here. It's very, Hunter basically told me, make it kind of like a Superman versus the Batman v Superman kind of storyline. That's what he wanted to see, was a Batman v Superman story with Dipper versus Steven. So, here we go. Here is our story. So here's our story. So in this storyline, basically what has happened is that we cut to Gravity Falls in the past, and essentially what happens is that Dipper and the rest of the Mystery Shack gang are attacked by a gem monster. And they're having, keep in mind, they're having like a big celebration. Like, hey, Dipper and Mabel are back in Gravity Falls after a whole year. You know, it's going to be great. And then a gem monster comes in and just wrecks house. Like, it destroys the building. Like, it destroys the Mystery Shack. It actually, hurts Mabel. Like, it hurts Mabel. Like, it flung her into a tree and put her in a coma for, 2 months. So, Dipper is obviously, when he finds out this creature's a gem, and obviously the stuff that happened with Steven Universe got put in global news, he's like, I'm going to find out what's going on, and then I'm going to take out these gems. So we cut forward to about a year, to the future time, to the Steven Universe future timeline. And essentially what has happened is that the Earth shook underneath Little Homeworld, and Steven and the rest of the gems go to Little Homeworld to go to the cluster to find out what's going on. It turns out something or someone ripped out chunks of the cluster, because here's the thing, the cluster is so big is that pieces of it were on different parts of the Earth's crust. It wasn't dead center in the center of the Earth. It was there were pieces of it everywhere. So someone had dug out and tore out chunks of the cluster, and now it's in pain. And not only that, they're also discovering that they're still looking for corrupted gems to, heal again. But what's happening is that they're finding less and less. Someone is hunting them. And essentially what has happened is that Dipper has been training. He's been going through survivalist training with Wendy. He's been, learning how to make new technology with Ford. He's more or less been... he's been training hard to hunt down and exterminate gems. And how is he doing this? He's basically made weapons out of the cluster pieces he's harvested. He's basically harvested out chunks of just sheer chunks of the cluster and made it into brass, into knuckles, bullets for a gun, for a hunting rifle. He's also forged a sword. He's forged everything, and he's been training. He's been working out and learning how to fight. Steven, on the other hand, hasn't really gotten that level of training. He has been training with Jasper, but here's the thing: Steven never really he was never hardcore trained outside from the crystal gems. They were always light-handed training him. Dipper went the full mile. He went the full survivalist training and worked out to one day kill these things, because they're alien, they're invaders, and he's read with Ford's help, he's read up on all of the gems history and realizes these guys are bad. He doesn't know that there's peace, and honestly he doesn't care. So while this is going on, while this is going on, Dipper is more or less like, I am going to kill him, and Mabel's like, maybe you shouldn't kill this guy. Maybe he's just maybe like things are cool now, and he's like, not after what happened to you, so I'm not cool with it. And essentially, Dipper more or less makes a declaration of war on the crystal gems by essentially lighting all of Little Homeworld on fire. Like, he starts a fire, and right in the fire it writes, "I'm coming. I'm on my way. Like, I'm coming here." So Steven's like, all right, whoever this guy is, he's... And the thing is, the crystal gems don't take Dipper seriously, because it's like, it's just a fucking human. He can't be a real threat. There's no way he can really be a danger to us, so why should we care? And Connie reminds, need I remind you that I'm human, and you guys taught me to deal out a lot of damage? Steven is half human, and he can do a lot of stuff. And he's like, yeah, but you were trained by us. There's no way a human could possibly be a threat to anyone like us, so... Why? Like, why should we be concerned? He's like, I don't know, because he set the fucking town on fire. So eventually, Steven's like, all right, him and me are on a collision course. Now, there's no Lex Luthor there's no Lex Luthor character pushing the two together. It's essentially just gonna be a straight up throwdown between these two. And Dipper, more or less, like, he basically lures Steven. Here's the thing, he doesn't, like, kidnap Connie or whatever, but he does, like, he wears, like, he's now wearing, like, body armor forged from old gem weapons he's harvested, and, like, forged it into body armor for himself. And he essentially grabs Connie and is like, I'm gonna tell you to put in a message for me, for your boyfriend. He comes to Gravity Falls, and him and me are going to have a little chat. Pass on that message for me, will you? And obviously, that scares Connie, and Steven's, like, already pissed off, because, like, he broke into my girlfriend's house and scared the life out of her. What else could he have done? So Steven is forced to go to Gravity Falls alone, and Dipper's waiting there in the center of Gravity Falls, like, the center of Gravity Falls, like, of their town square, like, their main street, and he's like, well... here I am. And those two throw down hard. Like, Steven, obviously, like I said, it's a Batman-Superman fight. And it's very much like, I thought of it kind of like the Superman-Batman fight in Batman v Superman takes elements from Dark Knight Returns, but this is more like the Dark Knight Returns thing, where Dipper is like Batman, and Steven's obviously the Superman of this fight. And the two just throw down. Like, they just straight up throw hands the whole entire time. And by the end of it, Dipper actually wins, because he's like... Because even though Steven can create, like, you know, barriers and shields, the weapons Dipper's using, the cluster pieces and the gem pieces he's forged out of weapons, can actually break through them. Like, he takes out those brass knuckles and, like, punches Steven's barrier, and it, like, cracks through it, and he actually, like, could punch him. But by the end of it, Dipper actually gets the edge on him and is ready to kill him, and that's when Mabel comes in and is like, you gotta stop. Like, this is enough. We don't kill him. Like, you know, I forgave him for that shit with the gem monster. You gotta move past this. So it's not like, why did you say that name? It's not like that moment. It's just Mabel begging her brother to, like, have some sense, because we all know he goes overboard when it comes to a single train thought. Although, to be fair, in this scenario, Wendy, Stan, Ford, and we're all pushing him. Like, we're all basically like, yeah, we're all in on this. Fuck those gems. So, by the end of it, Dipper lets Steven live and is like, but I want you to remember this in your most private moments. I want you to remember the one man who beat you. And he just sends Steven home knowing there's one guy out there who will kick his ass, like, if another fight comes out. If there's, like, another fight, he knows there's one guy out there who will beat the shit out of him. So, there you go. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much there's the Patreon request for Hunter Johnson. Hope you all enjoyed this. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? And if you would, like I said before, if you guys want to have a Patreon request done here on YouTube, just hit the link below to my Patreon and hit the 4th tier where you guys can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.